Hi, I'm Leslie Campbell, and welcome to Soundcheck. Today, I'm joined by the President and CEO of Strategic Mobility Group and Virtuoso, Nancy Gorski. Thanks for joining me.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. So let's talk about leadership. So you're the President and CEO of two companies, which is amazing. Can you take us back to before you became a business owner and a CEO and just talk about some of your experiences with getting to the point where you decided you wanted to start your own business?
Well, I think I was pretty much an ordinary person, just going to work, and I started off working for my father, who was an attorney, and then I went into work as an administrative assistant at a law firm. And the interesting thing was I was pretty young, and actually I was administrative assistant / receptionist. But being pretty young, back in the day when not everybody was computer savvy, they're like, "Oh, you're young, you figure it out." Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I have nothing else to do. So I ended up figuring out a lot of IT things for them. And but in the meantime, I had studied for the LSAT and was applying to law schools and was ready to go to law school, and just decided one day that I really liked IT. So I stayed in IT. But working for people and seeing that their needs, and then I actually went to go work for another IT company and was able to go to a variety of customers to see what their needs were and kind of how they were being serviced, and the response time and everything like that. So it really it gave me a really good perspective of how lacking support was in the IT field at that time. Now that was a long time ago, so it's not like it is today at all. But so it kind of prompted me to start my own business, and that's kind of where it started.
So that IT company that you started, what was your main area of focus? What was your specialty?
Well, coming from a law firm or working at law firm backgrounds, our IT was focused on law firms in the Chicagoland area. So because I had the knowledge of the applications and kind of how law firms worked and everything, it was easy to fall into that because I was already doing some sort of IT when I was an administrative assistant, and then when I went to work for another IT company, they were focused on law firms, so it was very easy for me to focus on that. So law firms and lawyers were our biggest clients.
And how long did you have that business?
For about 10 years.
Was that then after that 10 years, is that when you started SMG?
Yes, that's when it took a year or two, but yes, that's when we decided to start as a Strategic Mobility Group, yes.
So in that time that you were running your own business and kind of moving up, what were some of the things that motivated you, or who were some of the people that you looked up to as inspiration?
This question is asked, I think, across the board to everybody. And it's interesting because some people, name big names and everything. And I'll be honest, there was a point in my life where I was like, oh yeah, this big person is my inspiration. And there's some truth to that. But I think in reality, my inspiration comes from around the people that I work with. So throughout the years, whoever I've worked with, whoever I've interacted with, those are my inspirations. And it's not in any big way. They could be in little ways. Mm-hmm. For instance, my daughter, my son, they're inspirations for me. My husband, the people that I know, right? The people that I
didn't tell her to say that.
Yeah. The people that I work with, everybody has a different personality. Everybody has a different viewpoint on life and on work ethics and work. And I take all that in, and every single person that I encounter is an inspiration. So I don't know. I kind of look at it that way. Mm-hmm. I don't focus on big celebrities or anything like that. They're great, but it's not really where I go, oh God, that's where I want to be. I love the people around me and the people that I work with.
So, in all of your experience, have you ever felt like you've been more challenged, whether it's in a negative way or a positive way, because you're a woman?
I don't, I'm going to say no. Like, I've never felt that. When I started my IT company, it was a very male dominated, male dominated field. And I think most people are like, oh, you're a woman. And the majority of our company, the first couple of years, the people that worked in my company were women. I never felt that way. Like, it was just kind of one of those things. You're like, all right, we're going to go out and do this. And I guess it was a challenge, but it was also, I had nothing to lose, So you go out there and you do your absolute best and you're meticulous and you really, we really did have excellent customer service and we were there. I mean, we worked 24/7 and, I think it was really appreciated. So I never felt that, because I was a woman, I couldn't get a client, or because I was a woman, I couldn't do well. I never crossed my mind. It was just do your job, and we did it, and we did it well.
Do you feel like it actually helped you ever? Like, oh, this happened because you're a woman, because you're nurturing, because you have that, within you.
I don't know if that would. Well, I think that there is a difference between the way men and women think in business. I think there are definitely some positive things and negative things to both sides. One thing I do know about our company is that the detail and how meticulous we were to make sure that our product was on point.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been, it was a little time consuming, but we always made sure, like, everything that we produce, the product that we put out, even our reports or our training documents, they're very meticulous on how to do things on your computer, once we handed it over to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that part, might have been one of our strengths.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't know if I had a huge advantage just because I was a woman.
Yeah. So how has being a business owner changed from all the way back when you started until now? What are some of the things that stand out as so different?
Well, I'm a lot older. So
we all are.
We all are. I was starting out as a business owner when you're young and you've never done it before. It is terrifying, because you really don't know a lot. You really don't. Like, I don't care. You can go to the best business school in the world and you're still on your own and you still are, trying to figure it out, and you run into a lot of roadblocks and a lot of things happen that you have to reverse, or you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done it that way. But a lot of good things come out of it, because I think as a younger CEO, you take more risks.
Mm-hmm.
And that was exciting. Like, I think that was really exciting. Now, our company wasn't as big as our company is now. So once again, I didn't feel like I had a lot to lose, meaning that I could maintain our status and take more risks. So, and we still take risks now. I still love doing that. I still want to try and make our product better. I try to streamline all of our processes, and always looking for a better way to do things, especially for our clients. So, but I think the confidence in leading, the confidence in really understanding what it takes to run a business and to create a profit, keep the revenue stream going and manage people is a lot different than what I knew a long time ago. So, but in general, I don't know. I think all CEOs go through that. I think it doesn't matter who you are. You can go all the way to the top, to the biggest owner of a company. They all went through that, especially in their younger years, and then they gain the confidence, and you see the possibilities, that a company can do, and that especially the people around you can accomplish. And I think that is another thing that you do learn, is you learn that you surround yourself with people that, one, are smarter than you, especially in a specific field, that are loyal, that really, really believe in your brand, believe in what you're doing. And I think that's important too. And I think when you start off, you're not so sure about that.
Yeah.
And I think now, I think I got that.
Were there many times, and you don't have to give any specifics if there were, but were there many times where maybe you took a risk as a younger CEO and it just blew up in a good way and you were like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that worked, or I can't believe that we made it through that, or this was the best idea I ever had?
I'm trying to think if there was anything specific. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows the story already, but starting SMG, let's just say, I mean, the one thing that, I fought for a long time was our stupid white boxes. And they're not stupid. It's actually a really cool thing now. But that was an argument. That was like World War III.
Yeah.
Because it's a cost, right?
Yeah.
Like, just go buy a brown box, stick your label on it, and send it out. And so it was a risk that I took because when you're starting off, you don't have a lot of money. So it was a marketing ploy, or it was a marketing thing. So yeah, that blew up in a really, really good way.
Yeah.
Like it has become like an icon of our company.
Right.
So yeah, pat myself on the back for that one. But yeah, it was a risk, because I'm kind of like, all right, I'm spending the money, and back then it was a lot of money for us when you're a startup. So it's things like that. I think in my younger years, marketing was not a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very straight in your face. This is what you need, and this is going to happen if you don't do it. And I would have to say there were a lot of people that didn't like it, and so I think that was a risk that I took. That I'm like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm just going to tell you what you need. I'm going to tell you what it costs, and 9 out of 10 times, people would be calling me within 6 months to a year saying, can you go back?
Yeah, you were right.
I was right. Yeah. And that's kind of how we grew, and our company grew, and it was word of mouth, but it was basically like these women don't at you. They're,
yeah.
Can I swear? But they don't, they're going to tell it to you straight, and you're going to be thankful for it like down the line.
Yeah. So one thing that is really big for both SMG3 and Virtuoso is our company culture. That's like number one. So can you talk a little bit about what your original ideas were about culture and why you made it such a priority? Because it's really paid off.
Yeah. Because I don't think a place of business or where you go to work every day is just a place where you go to work. I've never felt that way about office or, my companies. I think it's really important. I mean, you spend 8+ hours a day, and there are times where you have to work on weekends, and you're with your coworkers all this time. It better be a really good place to work. It better be a place that you want to come to and spend time here, because you have to go to work, right? So I want our workplace to be an amazing place where everybody feels comfortable and everybody really, I mean, they enjoy their coworkers. They really like going to work. I also really truly believe that the culture that you have within your company, once it's established and once you have it internally and everybody really is behind everything and really understands what you're doing as a company and understands the mission and the goals, it's not as hard to sell it. Mm-hmm. It automatically comes out in a conversation. It automatically comes out in how you present yourself to your customers, how you present yourself to the world. And I think that is extremely important. So I think culture is number one. I think the people that you have working in your company should be number one, and they should be taken care of, because they're going to treat their customers as number one. So it's it's kind of like this flow, or it's the waterfall effect, I guess, maybe. Mm-hmm. And so I'll never let up that. Our culture is very important to me.
Yeah. And I know from my experience with being here for so long, I mean, it's a real thing. It's not just something that we talk about. And from the time I started here, it was always a good culture, but I do remember, and I don't know what time it was, but I do remember that point where it really shifted and it became it just went to the next level. And it's been pretty awesome. And we've had people say, I can't believe, after they've been here for a while, Like you guys really, you were right. How you touted culture in my interview was really like you guys are really walking the walk.
We are. And I expect everyone that joins our family, like you need to do the same.
Yeah.
And I think, there's an accountability to that too, is, everyone has each other's back, and it's not just, oh, this is my job and I'm not doing your job. Everybody has each other's back. And it makes for a better outside of work life too.
Mhm.
You can leave here having the confidence knowing that your coworkers are going to help cover you or help you do your job, especially if there's an emergency or if you have a vacation. I think that's extremely important. And it's extremely important that the rest of the company understands that, there's not going to be a glitch in the matrix. And
Yeah.
It's after all these years, it's really comforting,
Yeah.
to be able to drive away and go, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine, because you know that everyone's going to take care of what they need to take care of.
Yeah. So we're at the point, and we have been for a while, where our company culture is amazing. But what was the biggest challenge in getting it to this point?
The biggest challenge, yeah, because there is that hump that you said that all of a sudden we went over. One, I think finding the right people. You do go through a phase where you hire whatever, and you have to find the right people that believe in the same things that you do, and that believe in your company. I do still think that that's important, that they believe in the company they work for. The place where they go every day is that they believe in what they're doing and what they're doing in their specific job. So I think the biggest hurdle is making sure that negativity and, I've always said, I want you to want to work here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to work here, that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Like I said, I was supposed to go to law school, but I didn't want to. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Go where you really want to be. And that's what I really tell everybody here. Be where you want to be. If it's not here, it doesn't hurt my feelings, because I want you to be happy ultimately. So I want everyone here to be happy. And if you're happy, then you contribute to the success of the company and success of the culture, and you end up protecting it. And I think that we had to go through some of that happiness. And I hate to say, it's like people kind of decide, oh, this isn't for me. And that was completely fine, So I think now we have really found a really tight group that, like, this is for me. And, we're really going to make this company successful. So there's always painful points in growing, right? But I think overall, I'm very happy with it. I think we've done an amazing job in our company culture.
Speaking of amazing, our company events are really amazing. What is overall, what's your favorite part about providing the team with so many amazing events? What's the most exciting part of that for you?
I don't know. I just like giving. I don't know. Drives a lot of people in my family crazy, but I don't know. I do. I think it's fun. Our Christmas party, I think, is my favorite time. That is the one thing that, even though we've gotten bigger and I do need help, I really try to do a lot of that on my own, so that it's a surprise to all the employees, even though they kind of know what's going on. But I mean, we did some pretty good, cool things, even a couple of years ago, where we found a space next to us that nobody really knew. But yeah, we totally transformed it into this awesome little Christmas party in this space that nobody had rented. So it's things like that. I just have so much fun doing it and making it a really big celebration and celebrating, all the employees here. I think that's my favorite time of the year, is to be able to do that. And then with our auctions, and I don't think people realize, I spend hours and hours and hours and hours looking for, I don't know, really cool gifts or things that I think people would want to win. I don't know, it just makes me happy. It makes me happy to see smiles. It makes me happy to see people really enjoying each other outside of work. Another thing I think is the best is our parking lot barbecue that started, I don't know how many years ago, you know, and it was
that's
just this like hoedown, sitting on the grass, eating hamburgers, playing music and dancing. And that took off. Like that was just one of those impromptu things. And then all of a sudden every year everyone's like, well, we want to do the parking lot party. I'm like, really? Okay. And now it's become a thing.
Yeah.
So those are two of my favorite.
And as a company, we have a motto of be the good. And as a company, we do a lot of philanthropic things, mostly based on your vision and your drive to do that. But can you name one of your favorite charity events or activities that we've done? There's so many to choose from.
There are so many. And I like helping people out in need. I think across the board. I think one of my favorites, you know, we built the wheelchairs a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We also did the bikes for the kids.
Yeah, that was a tearjerker.
Yeah, I cried at that one. That makes you, and it's funny because you say, oh, it's just like this little dent, you know, but that little dent means a lot. Every year we get, they call them Christmas angels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we, you know, everybody who wants one takes a Christmas angel, and then they have a criteria, you know, who to buy for. And those are Christmas gifts for kids that, you know, are not going to have presents. So do I have a favorite? No. I mean, Feed My Starving Children was a riot because, you know, everyone's done that, but that's like a competition.
Yeah, we're a very competitive group.
Very competitive group. So I really can't name one, but as long as it's giving back, because we are very fortunate and we, I think, have an obligation to give back.
Yeah. So my last question, is there any advice that you would want to give to a younger person or just someone who at any age is deciding to start their own business? Anything that you would tell them to do for sure or not to do?
Don't doubt yourself. If you have a vision and you have a passion, don't doubt yourself. You're going to make mistakes. But you need to be able to have that open mind and understand that you made a mistake and say, okay, I made a mistake, own it. Don't run from it. How are you going to make it better? How are you not going to make that mistake again? And how do you correct it? I also you can't be afraid to take risks. Your stomach turns and everything, but you can't be afraid to take that risk. And you might fail. That's totally fine. You're going to fail, but you're going to learn so much from it. I don't know. Like I said, I think confidence, and always talk to people. Always talk to people that, you know, might know more than you do. Run ideas past people, even people that may not know more than you. Like throw it out there, because sometimes people will look at you and be like, "What, are you crazy?" You know, and you're like, "Well, why am I crazy? You know, tell me why." And you get feedback, and that feedback is very valuable information. So I do that a lot. You know, I throw things out there and I just kind of see how people cringe, or if they're like, "Oh, that's really cool," or, you know, whatever, what the response is. And it's not, you know, I don't take it personally. It's just, you know, maybe that's not a good idea. Or, you know, maybe we change it around. It's going to be a great idea.
Right. Gives you something to at least think about.
Right. So, and never, like I said, I never humble. Like I've never thought myself better than anybody. Like I'm in this with you. Like I'm in this game with you guys, you know.
Which is true, because I've seen you in the warehouse scrubbing the floor and also putting devices together and boxing things. But it's true.
And obviously everybody has their role. Like there are things that need to get done. Everybody has their role in a company and everything like that. But like I said, you guys are putting in as much sweat and tears as I am. So I think everybody that's going to start off there has to remember that, you know, where you came from, remember where you came from, because, you know, you can make it super, super big or whatever, but you still got to remember where you came from and how hard everybody has worked alongside you to get to where we are, you know? So I think that those are important. You have to want it and have the passion to do it.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.